Just a quick video here on the navigation for the NakedDelta Essential subscription. So here I've got an industry open. Industry comes under charts. I've got an industry open. It's big technology. It's made out of the biggest market capital technology stocks. If we look back over time, we're in a high gamma period here. It has a lot to do with the split on NVIDIA, which caused a bit of a mess for the market makers to deal with just too much being offset onto bigger stock. This happened, a classic case of this back in 2022. 2020. This was the Apple split. We can see here as we go. Oh, sorry, I've gone too far. This is the Apple split here, and again, the market makers lost control of the gamma when rolling, and it was a 4-to-1 split in Apple. You can see here the extra gamma that's been added. Again, let's just go back. We can see this September, this was again this terrible problem of offsetting it, and I think I'm using the ticker in this is FANG, and FANG has had a split there. Sorry, the prices don't update on the end of day stock prices like they do with they're sewn together by TradingView. And this is our end of day data. But anyway, you can see here we had a huge pullback of 25% in the stock market, and that was again because of what happened under the hood in the split of Apple. And again, we're seeing the same problem here as this is being distributed out. So anyway, this filter here is just for gamma. It doesn't filter anything else, so we can see what's rolling off. If we filter out what's happening, we can see what's rolling off. We also see, these fabulous increases in gamma, and we see that the short-dated traders tend to just take the best bite of the apple, and then they get out, and they won't get in until there's another bottom, and then they get in and they decide when to get out. And here again, they'll just take it for the first 31 days. The first 8 or 10 days after a pullback. Maximum, maybe even 3 or 4 days, because they just realise that we then start to hit this gamma ceiling that you might hear me talk about. We start to hit this gamma ceiling, and they just know that it's just not going to go much further. Once we've hit a ceiling, it will wait until it's pulled back, and it's got the opportunity to rise again. I feel here we've still got a little bit of time, a little bit that we need to lay off in this gamma here. We'd love to catch a gamma bottom here and get an ND buy signal like we have on a couple of these occasions. So also in here we've got the ND buy. All of these can be clicked on and off if you want to clean up and have a planar chart. They can all be clicked off within chart settings. Average DPI, that shows us just what is the average. What is an accumulation period, what isn't. It's interesting. I tend to think that DPI sort of is relative to the underlying positions that are held and the hedging that's being held. So DPI is really most relevant to the nearest period. And that's one of the reasons that we like to be able to look at DPI relative to its previous days. I will do another video on how to navigate the research in tickers, and I'll show you how that DPI becomes interesting, and the ability to have a look at DPI versus a closer period of days or a further out period of days, and we can just see that in the long period, when we look at them in the long period, DPI is not as relevant when we're having a look at that average DPI. It's more relevant to the recent period. We see some nice hedging activity here, just hedging as the price goes up. So that's just the buying the underlying for the price to go up. Again, buying the underlying. Where this one here is, this move here is definitely accumulation in the bottom of this period here of low gamma. So this is a ticker chart. This is the Q's Trust. Couple of things that added into that chart. We've added into that chart IV, which is a big part of trying to decide what's happening, how tight stock liquidity is. I know we have a liquidity indicator as well, which is another great way to look at it. But this also shows us when stocks have high, when options have high IV in the 30-day, it tells us that we have these market makers are having to reach for up to the asking price, which makes them quite volatile. Especially when we talk about GME. In GME, it's a very, very good measure. Liquidity is very difficult to measure in GME. And we can see how it is related to price. We can see periods of it building and keeping this IV up and forcing the market makers to reach up. Excuse me, and buy the ask. So other sections to look at. Tree maps is another way. It's really a research. We're just about to put ETFs back onto there. ETFs is very interesting. We can search through various things. So we can research to see, have we had a high or a low amount of call IV compared to the last 50 days. And so we can go and have a look at why have we got one that is got really low call OI. Is this a depressed ticker? So if we click on it, we can just go through. Don't actually know what Amphenol do, but we can have a look and see it's probably having a poor, doesn't have a lot of strength at the moment. I know it's got reasonable strength at the moment, but we've had this period where gamma's dropped right down, and so the people who have been in this trade and ridden this trade have decided the trade's almost off. You can see here they've got out before the big crash. Gamma, they've got out the day before. Here they've just hesitated and left the market again. They've left the market back at the last OPEX, so a big fund has decided it doesn't want to be part of it. So this big DPI here associated with the low gamma is probably distribution. So that's bigger market maker buying it back from a smaller market maker. The note is best from the Discord room. A lot of the links don't come through to the outside of the note. The outside of the note now is, today it's still on the outside. It's going to be 3 days behind, so people can see what's being said in our note, but 3 days behind. We will still have some things coming to the outside of the site, but not the things that people are paying for, not the inside alpha. We had a quick discussion then about topping gamma. This is just, so for my charts, you can set up your favorite tickers. You can just go through, and if you want to add a ticker, you can add a ticker, and then it'll be within these favorite charts. And so at the start of the day, as opposed to going through, just an easier navigation for you to see where things are. GME is an interesting one. It's very interesting having a look at it through the eyes of the liquidity sentiment indicator. Here we see this lovely period of accumulation here, which has caused the IV to rise as the market makers have had to really reach. They're being forced. This accumulation has obviously been in the options because we haven't seen a lot of price discovery. And then they've started down here, they've started to accumulate some, I would say, some puts. And we've seen, as they've been doing that, we've seen hedging against that. Again, this here is just hedging against the rise in the price. So best to see the note within the Discord. Within Patreon, you'll sign into Patreon. that will give you a link to the Discord. Please get active within the Discord for any questions. No, we're not running the Discord as a trading area for me to suggest how to trade things. But any questions about that, you can drop in and ask me. There's some other people who are within Discord who might have some good ideas on that. But anything that you need to ask me about how any of this works, just drop me a line in the Discord and I'll answer it as soon as I can. Again, I'll put a video up about the navigation for the research pages. I actually have to dot my I's and cross my T's on it to make sure I understand it all. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you look forward to your